Hi everyone, thanks for joining us today. I know people are going to be logging in, but thank you so much for joining us. My name is Christine. I am one of our senior assistant directors of transfer admissions here at MCPHS, and I'm joined by one of our current students.
Hi, I'm Ashley.
So Ashley transferred to MCPHS. So today what we're here to talk about is all things transfer for MCPHS admissions. So once again, thank you for joining us. For everyone that's logging in right now, I have another phone in my hand. So whatever questions that come through this live, I will be looking down and be able to, answer your questions. So we're here to help with anything that you need in terms of transfer admissions, in terms of transferring to MCPHS, and all of the like. Give me one moment. So, I work with our transfer students who are in transferring to MCPHS for anything to do with arts and sciences. I have colleagues who work with our students transferring in to MCPHS for pharmacy, for nursing, for sonography, and all of the like. So I'm happy to answer any questions when it comes to that. And then Ashley here is one of our students in pharmaceutical sciences. So I will let Ashley introduce herself in terms of where she's from, program, and why she chose MCPHS.
Hi, my name's Ashley. I'm from Virginia. I transferred here last year and have been taking courses at MCPHS for 2 semesters now. I'm in pharmaceutical business. One of the big reasons why I chose this place is because of their specialized programs. Although I'm not exactly sure what I want to do, they offer a lot of programs in healthcare, which I know is the direction I'm going into. So pharmaceutical business will help me learn more about my career plan path.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, what Ashley's bringing up about the health sciences focus is really, what MCPHS is known for. So we have been around for 200 years. Last year was our bicentennial. So we started in 1823 as a small pharmacy school and have expanded to over 100 different programs. And, those being our specialty of healthcare. And so you're surrounded by students who are pursuing healthcare in many different manners. And so what I think is really great for students is having that combined kind of learning experience with each other. So, when it comes to student supports, I'll pass that off to Ashley, but being around students who are all pursuing something in healthcare is something that's very important to our students, and usually, why they're choosing MCPHS, which I think is great. Do want to open it up for anyone who has any questions. Please feel free to put them in the chat. We're happy to answer questions from the admissions perspective, from the student perspective, whatever you need, we're here to help with today. And so like I said, we are looking at transfer admissions. We do these lives every month in terms of anything that comes up for, if you're coming out of high school and coming to MCPHS or transferring, we're here to help you. I know a question that came in, what does a typical day look like for students? So Ashley, if you could kind of talk through maybe what, your typical day with a day full of classes versus not having classes might look like.
Okay. I think obviously it's going to depend on what your schedule's like, right? But classes are only about an hour long, and there are online classes that you can take as well. So I personally live on campus, and I dorm at St. Julie Hall, which is about a 10-minute walk. So I walk to school, go to my classes, and walk back after, work on school. I have roommates. Sometimes we go to school events on Thursdays. They have
the Cardinal
Thursdays. Yep. There's a lot of events that you can join, even clubs that you can join. And Boston's just a really pretty area to even just explore, right? It's easy transportation. So in your free time.
Awesome. Yeah. And can you tell us about what the experience is like? I know this year you lived on campus and next year you're looking to live off campus. So can you tell us what the experience of living on campus and then what it's been like kind of looking for an apartment?
Yeah, living on campus has been really nice. It's a really nice dorm room, actually. It feels very spacious, and I'm living with 3 other people as well. So and we've all gotten along, which is great. Looking for apartments off campus actually hasn't been very difficult at all, and we're still in the same walking distance from school, and even closer to actually like Safeway, Target, which will be really nice for us.
Don't spend all your money there.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, there's a question here that came in about what Cardinal Thursdays are. So Cardinal Thursdays happens every Thursday on campus. Different activities, whether it's, a Heritage Month or something along those lines, they're doing different events every Thursday for our students. So they set it up during activities period. Have there been any ones that you've gone to recently? You get free t-shirts, you can stuff a cardinal and get a little cardinal stuffed animal that you can bring around. Is there anything that you've done?
I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes you just get free food. So
Yeah,
I do that sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
as students, you have to prioritize that. That makes sense. So in terms of any scholarships, I'm happy to answer this question. So are there any scholarships available to students at MCPHS? We offer transfer scholarships to any student accepted to MCPHS as a transfer, which is really wonderful because it does give that opportunity. It varies depending on what that merit scholarship is, and we're always happy to talk with you about more money as well. So please feel free to, talk with your admissions counselor, whether that's me or one of my colleagues, but we're always happy to have chats with you about how you're going to finance your education. But scholarships are offered to all of accepted transfer students. There's some questions here about international. I'm happy to answer some of those. If you are an international student or you've taken classes outside of the U.S., we do need a transcript evaluation done. So whether that's World Education Services or ECE, we do require that to know the U.S. equivalency. So it's a credit by credit transfer evaluation. There's a question here in terms of, let me see. As a transfer student, when should you set your schedule for the fall semester? That's a wonderful question. So we actually do transfer advising appointments in the summers. So what that means is whether it's in person or it's virtual, you meet with admissions and with one of your academic advisors, and we help you get registered for your classes for the fall. And what that does is it helps with, based off of your transfer credit, what you're going to be taking. And making sure that you're not double taking any classes. All the credit that's supposed to come in is coming in. Did you do that over the summer, Ashley?
I did. I was in touch with Joanna Baker for most of the summer. That's another really positive thing that I saw about MCPHS was how willing they were to help me have an easy transition into the fall. And it made me feel more comfortable about even transferring to this school because I had a plan of when I would probably graduate and everything was kind of set in stone. Even though I wasn't following everyone else's curriculum exactly, there was still a plan that worked for me.
Yeah, I think that's what's really important as well. We're very open as an admissions office. We are happy to help. We love to meet with students in person or virtually, but really just to help guide you along that path of transferring to MCPHS and what that's going to look like. So, like I said, if you're a student who's been admitted and you've decided that you want to enroll, make sure you're putting down your deposit, whether that's just the enrollment deposit of $500 or the additional $300 housing deposit. Make sure you get that in to secure your seat. And then in the summer, we'll reach out to you with opportunities to visit campus, orientation, those advising appointments, and all in between. We do have an upcoming transfer open house. If you have not visited campus, you're thinking about coming, please make sure you visit. So we have an open house on Saturday, April 27th, and that will be just specifically for transfer students. So a day to learn more, meet with our current students, chat with us in admissions, chat with some faculty. It's a really great day. There's some questions in here about housing. So a student is asking, planning to commit, speak more a little bit about housing. We offer housing and guarantee it for your first year on campus. After that, you do have to reapply, and then it depends on what is available. But, in terms of living on campus your first year as a transfer student, you absolutely can. And as Ashley mentioned, she does live on campus. So if you want to just talk about what that looked like in terms of when you came here for the summer, you moved in, who are some of your roommates, that kind of thing.
So I live in St. Julie Hall, so it's basically an apartment-style dorm with 2 rooms, 2 bathrooms, a kitchen, and a living room. It comes with washer dryer. The trash chute's right down the hallway. I mean, I'm staying with other transfer students as well. We're all in different programs, which is kind of neat. But we also have classes that do overlap, so we are able to help each other at times. And then, yeah, but like she mentioned, I am going to be finding an apartment next semester. We did put in a form, but yeah, I think it's mainly for like first year students, right?
Yeah, so if you want to live on campus your first year, you absolutely can. We just can't guarantee it after that. So it's definitely, there's a lot of resources for students to be able to navigate the Boston housing market. We don't have off-campus sponsored housing, but we have resources for our students. But as Ashley mentioned, her new apartment is the same distance walking, so it's really great. There's a lot of availability around the area. So question here about financial aid packages going out. So that is right now kind of the question of the day for any university that you may be applying to. So something to know about is that the government overhauled the FAFSA application. There are some delays on their end, so we have not been able to download. No school has been able to download the FAFSA, so what we're waiting on is to be able to get that information about our incoming students to send out financial aid award packages. We're hoping within the next few weeks, but we are still happy to chat with you regarding what that's going to look like for you. We may not have the specifics on your numbers for your award letter, but we are open to those conversations. Contact us. Let's talk about what it looks like, how you can finance your education, how we can help. Whatever works for you, we are here to chat with you. So please make sure that that's not something that's holding you back. You can still deposit. You can still make sure that you have your seat secured. And we can talk more about the money and the nitty gritty of all of that. We're always welcome to do that with you. Yeah, there's a good question. So there's 2 different nursing programs. There's a question here about accelerated nursing. So we have our post-baccalaureate nursing program, which is a second degree nursing program and designed for students who already have bachelor's degrees. And then there is our accelerated nursing program, which is what we consider our traditional nursing program, and it's 3 years. Both are considered transfer students because you're going for a bachelor's degree in both situations. So yes, you're considered a transfer student for both of those. So there's a question about Treehouse. I know you live in St. Julie. Do you have any friends who live in Treehouse? There's just a question kind of about a little bit different. So Treehouse is suite style, where St. Julie is apartment style. Do you have any friends who live over there?
I haven't personally
That's
been
okay.
in there. I know that on MCPHS you can see examples of Treehouse. And even when I did get living, my RA took us on like a tour around other living spaces and just things in the area so that we knew our surroundings. And that gave us a better idea of what's around us and what it looks like, but I haven't seen it like in person.
That's okay. You can see it in person if you come to campus for an admitted student day or an open house where you're usually able to show the residence hall. It's not much different from what Ashley was describing for the apartment style. There is no washer and dryer, but it is a similar idea of its suite style. So you have a common space that you're sharing along with some roommates in bathrooms, stuff like that. Whereas the apartment style is more of a full apartment. That's really the difference. Treehouse we share on the campus of Mass Art, and St. Julie we share with Emmanuel College, which are both about 7 to 10 minute walking distance. We also do have 2 residence halls on campus that are directly attached to our main building. Those are called Fennel and Matricaria. So those opportunities, if you want to see them, you can see tours online, so virtual tours, but you can definitely come to campus and we'll show those as well. Some questions that are coming in. So speaking of, visiting campus, like I said, we have some open houses coming up. At the end of April, we have our transfer-specific open house. And I want to pass it off to Ashley to talk a little bit about when you were transferring to MCPHS, what events did you attend on campus?
Yeah, I came to MCPHS to the open transfer house and got a tour of the school, which I was really amazed because I don't think I've ever seen a college with all of the classes in one building, which is really convenient because I don't have to walk 20 minutes to go to another class, and I can have time in between if I do need to do work or if I want to go get a coffee or some food. And they were really helpful with asking questions if you had additional questions about classes, transferring credits, living here. It was very helpful.
Yeah, and I think, that good experience that Ashley had, she's part of our admissions office now as one of our transfer student ambassadors. So just knowing that, the experience you had, now you can help other transfer students that are coming here. It just shows you definitely visit campus. It's just a wonderful opportunity to get connected with us and get connected with current students to, see if you can see yourself here. And I think that's what's most important. There's some questions about FAFSA. I do want to say, in terms of FAFSA, definitely make an appointment with us. Admissions and Student Financial Services, we could both help you out in terms of that, but please connect with your admissions counselor. If you're a transfer student, whether that's me or one of my colleagues, Ben, Megan, or Ryan, please make sure you're reaching out. We're happy to have those conversations. We can't help in terms of filling out your FAFSA, but we can at least understand, what questions you might have about the difference between grants and loans. But make sure you're reaching out to us. You haven't, been assigned someone specifically, but Student Financial Services, if you reach out to them, you definitely can have someone to help you in terms of a counselor. Their email is sfs@mcphs.edu. So make sure you're connecting. Good question here. So in terms of the safety of campus, in terms of coming to campus, living, on one of the colleges, the Fenway, which I'll talk about a little bit, how do you feel when it comes to walking to and from campus, the safety of being on campus? Tell a little bit about that.
I feel really safe, especially when you take in consideration it's really surrounded by 5 other colleges, and you're just surrounded by a bunch of college students. It's not like you're right in the middle of nowhere in the city and lost. I mean, it's really safe. And then even coming into the building, you have a card that you have to scan so that the front desk knows who's in the building in case anything does happen. It makes you feel secure. Yeah,
and at all of the entrances, like Ashley said, we have to swipe our IDs, and they're staffed by our public safety. At all hours of the day, there's someone at each of the entrances. So it is very safe campus. And the same thing goes for once you go to your residence hall, you have to scan in. There's someone at the desk all the time. So being in the city, I also went to school around this area, so knowing that it is a really safe college campus. Also, you're surrounded by all the hospitals. So there's constantly workers coming in for their 7 a.m. shift, and then the ones coming in for the night shift. So, there's a lot of people at all times around here. And so public safety makes sure that you feel very safe, especially being in the city. But being surrounded by the other schools also gives you that more of the big campus environment. So there's students around at all times as well. And, when you're walking to and from campus, you're probably going to be around other MCPHS students walking to and from campus. So definitely something that's available to make sure that you feel safe. So question here about, does MCPHS give students laptops or iPads? No, so we do not. You have to provide your own. So you have to, either purchase your own PC or Mac, but the institution does have help with our IT department of knowing, is this going to be compatible? What systems do I need? They're there to help you understand, what you're bringing in, making sure that it's all connected. We do have the opportunity to rent laptops for a few hours a day if you need that. So if for some reason something happens to your laptop, or maybe you're waiting to purchase one, you can rent them out. But you will eventually want your own to make sure that you're able to do your work and everything in between when you're not in class or sitting in the library or something, if you're in your room, making sure that you have access to something. There is a question about how long the nursing program is. So to go back to what I said before with nursing, so we have our accelerated nursing program, which is 3 years, and then our post-baccalaureate nursing program, which is designed for students who have a prior bachelor's degree. If you fall into that bucket, then you would be in the 16-month program. So 16 months, 4 semesters, straight through is how that works. A few more questions here that I want to make sure that we're getting with our student, Ashley. when you were applying to MCPHS, I know you mentioned that you spoke with Joanna, who's our director, a lot and made sure that you were in contact, but how was your experience applying? You know, when you submitted the application, were you connected to us quickly? Tell us a little bit about that.
I was connected very quickly, both me and my mom, because she likes to help me with things. And it was a very easy process. I actually feel like I didn't struggle with anything, and it was actually fairly quick because I was constantly able to reach out to Joanna if I had any questions, and I got a response mostly within 24 hours, which was really helpful. Yeah, it was an easy process for me.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, like I said before, we're very hands-on. So you'll hear from us. We'll connect with you. We'll reach out to you constantly. Even after you enroll, you'll hear from us at least once a month of like, hey, remember, you want to submit your housing deposit or you want to sign up for your transfer advising appointment. So we'll definitely connect with you often, which I think is really wonderful. Good question in here in terms of how long would it take to get an answer if you get accepted. So when you submit an application, so our transfer application is free. It's on our website. It should take you about 10 to 15 minutes to fill out. And then we need you to send all of your transcripts. So anywhere that you've completed college classes, make sure you're sending that over. If you're applying to nursing, you also need to send over your high school transcript. Or if you completed less than 24 college credits for any of our majors, send over your high school transcript as well. Once we have everything, your application is considered complete. And then we'll be able to review it and give you a decision within 3 to 4 weeks. So it's pretty fast. At the time of your acceptance, you would also get transfer credit evaluation as well as a scholarship. So you'll know all of that right up front. And then, as I mentioned, we can have more conversations and we would definitely be reaching out to you then. It's a good question. So Jessica, I see your question about which program would be best for you. Definitely schedule an appointment with us. I think that is something that one of us would love to chat with you one-on-one, look at your transcript, kind of see what major might fit best for you in order to get you to your goals. So I would recommend reaching out to Transfers. So it's TRANSFERS at mcphs.edu. Or if you go on our website, mcphs.edu/visit, you can actually schedule an appointment, whether that be on campus with a tour or virtual or on the phone. We're happy to meet with you to be able to discuss that. I think just a one-on-one conversation with one of my colleagues or myself is going to be helpful to help understand what your goals are and what major is going to get you there. So question about pharmacy. So I don't know, I know that you have spoken with your dean and your faculty mentor, and since you're in Pharm Biz, kind of speaking a little bit about how you feel with the pharmacy faculty and supported by them.
They're very responsive in helping me since I'm a transfer student. A little bit of my credits have been a little funky compared to if I was just a transfer as a first year. But they've been working with me all semester and getting me into classes and trying to find alternate ways to help speed up the process and make sure I can complete the classes I want to with my goals in line. They're very helpful. A lot of people, like my roommates, I know go to CASE. I personally haven't. I've been going to my faculty member, and I also did feel comfortable reaching out with the dean, which I know in a lot of schools is very hard to do. And I got to have a Zoom meeting with him, and I can constantly email him and get quick replies as well.
Yeah, so, just to kind of reiterate off of that, you're not just a number here. The faculty really want to get to know you, make sure you're getting to your goals. And so I think it's really wonderful that you're able to connect with your faculty mentor, but also your dean. Is something that they're there to help you, which is really wonderful. There's a question here about transfer scholarships. So that's a really great question about what happens if you're not full-time your first year. Good question. So that is something that we're definitely happy to chat with you about. Your scholarship doesn't just go away. Your scholarship follows you as a student as long as you maintain full-time status and a certain GPA. So 2.5 GPA or above, your scholarship stays with you. If for some reason you ever drop below full-time status, your scholarship doesn't go away, but it was going to get prorated, so you'll get a percentage of it based off of the percentage of classes you're enrolled in for full-time. So that's something that we definitely can go with you over individually, but just want to let you know something that doesn't go away, but it just might get altered a little bit depending on the amount of credits you're in. So before I go off to the next question, just want to say hi to everybody that's joining in now from when we started. I'm Christine. I'm one of the Senior Assistant Directors of Transfer Admissions here at MCPHS, and I'm joined by a current student who was a transfer, Ashley.
Hi.
And so we're here to help answer any questions that you have about transferring. The live's going to go on for about 5 more minutes, but please make sure you're reaching out. I will reiterate where we're, come visit campus on April 27th, which is our transfer-specific open house for the spring. We also have tours that are available Monday through Friday, and you can visit campus. If you've been admitted, we have accepted student days coming up. One is this upcoming Saturday, the 23rd of March, and then the next one is April 13th. So if you've been admitted already, you will have something in your email to come one of those days, but just a lot of opportunities to visit campus. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to us, specifically transfer inbox or admissions inbox. So transfer inbox is transfers@mcphs.edu, and the other one is admissions at mcphs.edu. So always feel free to reach out to us. We're happy to help. When it comes to student supports, Ashley was just talking about, being connected with the dean, being connected with your faculty mentor, which is wonderful, and having academic coaches. There's also peer tutors and supports for any classes you might be struggling in. There is a question here about accommodations as well. So in terms of accommodations, we have our Office for Student Access and Accommodations, or OSA for short, which is available to students to help them in any type of accommodation that they need. So definitely there are a lot of supports for our students, which is really wonderful. And you can get help if you need help. I think Ashley and I were talking the other day. Ask for help if you need it. And it is there for you. So I think that's really wonderful too. In terms of the benefits of MCP so far, what have you seen as a student who's been here now for 2 semesters? Our location, clubs, things like that, safety. What have you kind of ranked as your top thing that you've seen as a benefit for MCPHS?
I do like the fact that it is a smaller school and that everything's located in one building. I did mention that earlier. There are a lot of clubs, especially for degrees that you're going in, and even just fun clubs. As for Boston, I also mentioned taking the T is really easy, and going exploring with people is just a fun activity to do if you want to get off of campus and do other activities just around Boston. And it's also very safe. Like, even if you're not on campus, Boston itself feels very safe. People are really nice. Cars let you cross the street.
Surprisingly, but
yeah.
they do.
Yeah.
We were talking about safety earlier. MCPHS is ranked number 3 of one of the safest campuses. So I think that's really important to note, is that we're extremely safe campus for our students, and ranked number 3 safest campus in Massachusetts, which there's a lot of schools in Massachusetts. So for us to be up at number 3 is really, really something to say. A good question here, can you dorm by yourself as a freshman? So if you're entering MCPHS, today we're talking about transfer students, but happy to answer this question as well. There are very limited singles available. You have to have accommodation for that, so you would work with the Office of Student Access and Accommodations to request something like that, and they would let you know what you need. But there are limited singles, so I would say more than likely you're going to have a roommate to think about. Whether that's 1 roommate, 2 or 3 roommates, depends on which residence hall you live in. Good question for the application. So once again, application is free and on our website. Should take you about 10 to 15 minutes to fill out, and then you'll send all of your transcripts from any college that you've completed coursework at, and we also may require your high school transcript. We will if you're applying to nursing. There's a question here asking about recommendation letters. You do not need recommendation letters to apply. If you would like to send them, more than welcome to, but you don't have to. So just know if you have someone, a professor from your previous institution that you want to send a recommendation letter, please feel free to do so. You would just email that to us, whether that's transfers@mcphs.edu or admissions@mcphs.edu. Either one is helpful, and we'll be able to get that to your application. And then also, once your application's complete, we'll give you a decision within 3 to 4 weeks. And with that decision, you'll get your full transfer credit evaluation to know what credits are coming in, and also a scholarship at the same time. All right, so I'm going to go with one more question here, and we'll wrap it up for the day. Question for Ashley. So, what is kind of one tip that you would give a student who's either thinking about applying to MCPHS or has already committed and is going to be starting with us in the fall? What's a tip that you would give somebody?
Definitely don't be afraid to reach out to the admissions office and other faculty member here. They're here to help you, and they've helped me answer a lot of questions that I was very worried about with transferring credits, because it can be a difficult process. And they made it very smooth for me. So I think that's one of the biggest things, is I've never been a person to completely put myself out there and ask for help, but I reach out probably weekly to ask somebody about something and get a response. So that would be my tip.
Yeah, absolutely. And there was a question here kind of about visit opportunities and the timing of open house. So open house, once again, is transfer-specific open house is the 27th of April. And that open house is from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And if you register for it, you will get more information about that as well. But it's from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. So definitely make sure you're visiting campus. You're welcome to come to campus for open house. If you've been accepted, we have 2 accepted student days, this Saturday, the 23rd, and also April 13th. But if you're thinking about applying to MCPHS, make sure you're reaching out to us, and we're here to help guide you along the way. I do want to thank everyone for joining us today, and for Ashley, our current student who was a transfer, for joining us as well. If you have any other questions, please either feel free to DM us on Instagram, or reach out by the emails, as I mentioned, so transfers@mcphs.edu. And we're happy to connect with you and make sure that we can specifically answer your questions. Send us transcripts. We're happy to help. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. Have a great day.